Welcome back to Advertising Champions here in Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpoff, your host. Again, we're talking about advertising around the country. And today we have a really great panel. We have Gina Shreck from the Village Workspace and Islin Munisteri from Theia Strategies. And welcome to both of you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It's great joining.
Well, we are glad to have both of you and excited to see what you can share with us today. You both work with businesses and trying to make sure and help them get what they need happening so that they're getting the right responses and growth. So let's start with Gina. You work with them in a different way where you're really helping them find their place and really get a lot of them get them started, but some stay for much longer. Tell us about that experience of the first place that small businesses really get their businesses started at.
Well, it's interesting because I owned a marketing agency for 20 years, and we were looking for a place to bring our team together. And that's kind of what led me into opening a co-working space. But I find that a lot of startups, they're looking for community, they're looking for support, they're looking for resources. No one wants to go it alone. It's very scary when you're starting a business. So I feel like that's our role here, is to help them not only find a place as in an office or a workspace, but also to get their place set up online and to help them start building that business.
Yes, when you're working in a co-work, and I've worked in a few of them with a company by myself, you are on your own island and you lose some of that water cooler connectivity, but you can find it in those situations when you're working. But having the right resources is important. Islin, you also deal with providing resources to these businesses to help make them grow. So what are you seeing with first-time businesses that you're interacting with?
I would say, as far as first-time businesses, it's really about finding the right channels that you can acquire clients from, whether that's social media, doing sales, more of a sales-led organization where you're, working the phones, email, LinkedIn, whatever it may be, to find your clients. Or it could be in more of a B2C space where you have like Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads working for you that way as well.
Yes, having those resources are incredibly important, and really having the guidance to get started, because a lot of these businesses really have an idea. They're getting themselves moving in a direction, but they're not really sure of exactly what that direction is because they're trying to wear different hats, and marketing may not be one of them. So Gina, when you are getting these businesses set up in the co-op, they must be coming with a lot of questions in the co-work setting of how to get started, and really sometimes I'm sure socialization. They're trying to find different resources in that setting.
They are, and it's everything from, how do I set up my Google My Business profile? How do I need to be on all the social media channels? Do we have networking events here to network in person at in-person events? So very similar. It's one of those things that people are looking for. How do I find that ideal client? And most people want to know, how do I find them fast? How do I get that business bringing in dollars fast? And, unfortunately, when you're talking about social media, it's about building relationships, which is true with any sales. It's about building relationships, and some take longer than others. But it is, it's helping them know, contact this person because they know they can help you set up some Google ads, or this person can help you with social media ads, which can help start to build that community online as you continually put out content to build the relationships.
Now, Islin, you know a lot about that because you do a lot of work with CRMs and getting people set up with CRMs for that long-term tracking with these relationships.
That is true. I would recommend starting out with a CRM from day one. The HubSpot CRM is free to start, and you can start using some more of the functionality if you get on a starter growth plan, which I think is $50 a month. But I believe that, having a place to track those relationships is really key. So you can look back at the history of the relationship, whether it's been emails, phone calls, meetings, and really understand what's the next best touch point for that relationship to grow.
I think people understand what their limitations are, and there's only so much space in the brain to track those people who you've met and stacks of business cards. Although I've seen some really great coding systems on business cards to know who they are, what social media channel are they really on the most, how to best interact with them, which is great to track in a CRM and continue the conversation through that.
Exactly. And I mean, HubSpot, interestingly enough, has an app on your phone where you can scan in someone's business card and it'll automatically populate the CRM. So I find that feature very useful at networking events and that type of thing. After you've interacted with, like, say, a group of like 20, 30 people, you still want to be able to, keep in touch with them after that networking event. And having a CRM is really key to do that.
It's so true, because being in constant contact with people is important, and being that resource on a regular basis, because you want to be this resource to them the same way that you're hoping they're a resource to you. Now, Gina, I'm sure you create lots of resources within the co-work space in general, but you also have the situation of when they start to grow a little bit larger, they might need bigger space, and it's a positive for their growth, but a negative because they're leaving the nest in some way.
Usually we put them in a bigger office. we filled this space, and we're actually expanding behind us with another 10,000 square feet. And usually it is helping them manage the growth of their business, but also just looking at, the ones that are in here that are, like you mentioned, marketing is a lot of work, and marketing takes time. And so it gets put on the back burner. So really helping the clients that we have in here understand that you can't ignore the relationships. You need CRMs. You need to be using tools, but don't get overwhelmed by it. But put on that marketing hat. Maybe it's for 30 minutes. Maybe it's for an hour a day, if that's all you have. But spend that time focused on those relationships. Am I providing value on my social channels? Am I the resource that's getting back to people? So even in here, when people are asking us, I'm just struggling trying to grow my business or getting in touch with customers, sitting down with them and just giving them those types of those pieces of advice of, it's all about staying consistent with, your whatever channels you're on, be consistent. I always say, find one channel that your customers are on. Nail it before you scale it. Don't try to be on all of them. Get on one and be there every day. And if your channel is in person, meeting people in person, then every day show up and meet and shake hands and go check on people.
I think that statement, nail it before you scale it, is important in a lots of different details that they do. Yeah. But it's so great that they have you at your location, and Islin, your clients have you as someone who is a great resource, because small business owners need resources like the both of you to make sure their businesses are growing and flowing in the right direction. So we thank you both for your insight and really for joining us today.
Thank you. It's great being here.
Thanks, Howard. It was awesome.
Thank you. And thank you all for joining us as well. It's always great to have a great panel like this that really sees things from a similar but different perspective at times. But the key really is, how do we help businesses grow? How do we help them, whether it's finding them the right spot to get out of the dining room table to get started, and to show them how to get growth, and also to make sure they're tracking the information and really getting out their information in the right, proper way. So there's more resources here for both the Village Workspace and Theia Strategies here on Daily Ad Brief. So please check them out. But go and have a great rest of today, and we'll see you next time on Advertising Champions.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.